What if the most powerful version of you isn't found in what you share, but in what you withhold? Have you ever felt like someone used your own words against you? What if your silence could have been your great protection? There are only 3 things, just 3, that every wise woman must keep hidden. And once you know them, you'll never give your power away so easily again. In today's world, everyone seems to be sharing everything publicly, constantly, without filter. Every emotion, every secret, every plan is on display for the world to see. Vulnerability has been rebranded as strength. But what if that's not always true? Let me tell you something that not enough people will. There are 3 things a woman should never reveal. Not to her best friend, not to her family, and not even to the one she loves the most. Because the moment she exposes them, she places something sacred, her strength, into hands that may not protect it. You see, true power doesn't lie in how much you share. It lies in how well you protect, in what you preserve, in what you keep sacred. A woman who understands this walks with quiet authority, wrapped not in noise, but in dignity, confidence, and divine strength. Today, I'm going to show you what those 3 things are. And once you understand them, your view of strength, wisdom, and power will never be the same. Let's begin with the first. Pain. A woman's pain is not weakness. It is sacred, and sacred things are not meant to be paraded. When you speak of your pain to the wrong people, they won't always comfort you. Some will pity you. Some will use it against you. And others will simply never let you forget it. They'll bring it up every time you try to rise above it. Some wounds were never meant to be explained. They were meant to be healed in silence. Some battles were designed for solitude, where strength is forged not by applause but by perseverance. And then there's the second thing, your plans. We live in a world where dreams are often spoken too soon, where every ambition is posted, shared, and announced before it has roots. But wisdom whispers, guard your plans like seeds in the soil. Let them grow where no eye can trample them. Let them strengthen before the winds of doubt and criticism arrive. Because make no mistake, there are people who smile at you while secretly hoping your plans fall apart. A woman of wisdom nurtures her vision in private. She lets her progress speak louder than her promises. Now the third and perhaps most delicate is love. Love is a gift, but it must be given with discernment. A woman who reveals the full depth of her love too soon, too freely opens herself to heartbreak, manipulation, and regret. Love should be deep, yes, but also wise. Not every heart deserves to hold yours. Not every listener is loyal. Not every admirer is safe. So if you remember nothing else from today, remember this: what you hide determines what you keep. Hide your pain so the world cannot define you by it. Hide your plans so they can grow without interference. Hide your love so it's given only to those who will protect it. Walk in wisdom, walk in strength, and walk with the knowledge that what you guard today will protect you tomorrow in a culture that confuses exposure for strength. Let me offer a different truth. The true essence of power lies in what remains concealed. A woman who understands this doesn't need to explain herself. She doesn't broadcast her weaknesses, nor does she parade her strengths. Her presence speaks louder than her words. She walks into a room and doesn't declare her worth. She embodies it. Let's not confuse mystery with manipulation. Since the beginning of time, mystery has always been the key to influence. The less people know, the more they want to understand, and the more they wonder, the more power you have over what they perceive. Some of the most captivating women in history were not those who revealed everything. They were those who spoke with care, acted with wisdom, and left people wondering, that's not deception, that's discretion. And discretion protects far more than we realize, because people who lack wisdom seek validation through constant revelation. They share every thought, every emotion, every idea to anyone who will listen. But here's the truth: words, once spoken, cannot be taken back. Secrets once shared cannot be reclaimed, and trust once broken cannot be easily restored. That's why a wise woman guards her tongue, because not everyone listening is hoping you'll succeed. Some are listening to collect. Some are listening to compare. Some are listening only to wait for your moment of weakness. So protect your peace shield, your ambitions. Guard your spirit, because people are drawn to what they can't fully grasp. They respect what they can't easily access. That's why the greatest treasures on earth, gold, gems, sacred relics, are buried, locked away, or heavily guarded. What is valuable is never left exposed, and neither should you be. But how does a woman protect her value with becoming hard or distant? How does she live with strength while still loving deeply and moving freely? We discovered that what a woman hides can often protect her more than what she reveals. Now let's go deeper into the heart, the hidden place where her truest treasures live. A woman must learn to see herself for what she truly is, a treasure of immeasurable worth. Her thoughts, her dreams, her struggles, and her strengths. They are not cheap souvenirs for the world to browse through. They are jewels meant to be shared only with those who have proven worthy through action, through time, through unwavering respect. There's also quiet power in being unpredictable when a woman resists the urge to reveal all she knows, she feels, or all she intends to do. She remains in control the moment people think they've figured her out. She loses an edge, but when she withholds, when she responds with silence instead of reaction, with a smile instead of an explanation, she keeps them wondering. And in that space of uncertainty, she holds the upper hand. This isn't about manipulation, it's about wisdom. About understanding the reality that the world isn't always gentle, and not every person deserves access to the sacred spaces of her soul, because a woman's heart is vast, it is sacred, it is layered with emotion, pulsing with dreams shaped by experience. It is not something to hand over carelessly. Within her heart are chambers, rooms so deep, so personal, they should be entered only by those who carry gentleness, reverence, and good intention. Not everyone will yet. Society tells women to be open, to spill their secrets, to share their wounds like war stories, and call it strength. But true strength is not how much you share. It's how well you protect the most delicate parts of your soul. Because not everyone will cradle your pain with compassion. Some will listen not to understand, but to judge, not to heal, but to gossip. And when the time is right, use what they know to harm you. A wise woman discerns, she knows. Some pains are meant to be laid before God, not paraded before people. Some storms are meant to be endured in silence. The deepest wounds, when shared too freely, can be reopened by the very people she once trusted to help her heal. Withholding is not coldness, it is clarity, it is strength, it is the quiet decision to guard what is holy. A woman who understands this doesn't treat her heart like a public novel. She treats it like a sacred scroll, meant only for those who have truly earned the right to read even a page in dreams. Oh, how delicate they are, like seeds planted in the garden of the soul. If revealed too soon, before they are rooted, they can be trampled. How many dreams have died not because they weren't worthy, but because they were exposed too early to the wrong people? The world is filled with those who mask their doubt with a smile, who pretend their concern is care when deep down they're hoping she never takes flight. A woman must choose carefully. Not every ear is safe, not every compliment is sincere. Those who truly believe in her won't just say so. They'll show it with consistent support, with silent loyalty. Love too must be guarded. It's not just a feeling, it's a sacred chamber of the heart. A woman who gives away the full depth of her love too quickly, too freely, may one day find herself drained, emptied by those who only take but never give. Love is a gift, and gifts should never be thrown at the feet of those who won't cherish them. True love reveals itself over time. It is proven in action, shaped by storms and strengthened by patience. A woman should never unveil the full measure of her devotion to someone who hasn't first revealed the depth of their own. This isn't about playing games, it's about preserving self-respect. To love deeply is beautiful, but to love wisely, that is powerful. Woman's heart is a treasure chest, and not everyone deserves a key. Some things must remain hidden, not because they are shameful, but because they are too precious to be mishandled. And then there is trust, that beautiful, dangerous thing, one of the most sacred gifts a woman can offer. And yet how often is it given freely to people who haven't proven they deserve it? We're told that openness is virtue, but wisdom knows discernment is protection. A woman who trusts too quickly doesn't just invite companionship. She opens herself up to betrayal, to disappointment, to heartbreak. Trust shouldn't be scattered like seeds in the wind. It must be planted in the soil of character, where patterns of loyalty have grown, not just promises. Every smile means loyalty. Not every listener is safe. Some come close not to protect, but to learn to collect, to quietly observe her vulnerabilities only to use them later. She must understand, trust is not measured by time, it is measured by consistency. Just because someone has been around for years doesn't mean they've earned her secrets. Just because someone says, "I love you," doesn't mean they will guard her heart when it matters most. So what does it look like to live with that kind of wisdom? What happens when a woman learns to guard her spirit without growing cold to withhold, not out of fear, but out of clarity? We learn that not everyone deserves a key to your heart, and that real love like trust must be tested over time. Now let's talk about what happens when trust is handled with wisdom, or when it's given too easily. Trust is not a feeling, it's a pattern, a history, a consistency that builds over time. It must be rooted in action and loyalty that doesn't shift with the wind. A woman should never feel obligated to share every detail of her life with everyone around her. Some chapters of her story, some moments of her pain, and some pieces of her dreams deserve the sacred shelter of privacy. The world doesn't need access to her every thought, every hope, every quiet battle, so she must ask herself, am I sharing this because someone has truly earned it, or am I giving them access out of habit, out of loneliness, or out of guilt? Too often trust is given not because it's deserved, but because she feels wrong holding it back. But let this be said clearly. Withholding is not selfish, it is wise. It's not coldness, it's clarity. There is danger in trusting too quickly, especially in those raw moments of emotional vulnerability when a woman is hurting. It's natural to long for someone to lean on, someone to help carry the weight. But pain has a way of blinding judgment in the wrong hands. Her confessions can turn into weapons. What was meant for comfort can become control. What was shared for healing can become gossip. That's why a wise woman learns to pause before she speaks, pray before she reveals, and discern before she trusts. If someone has proven untrustworthy in the small things, why entrust them with the big? If they have betrayed others, what guarantees they won't betray her? Even in love, trust should never be blind. Love isn't proven by how much you share. It's proven by how much you protect. A woman must ask, is this person simply attracted to me, or are they truly capable of guarding my heart? Desire doesn't equal devotion. True trust is built in seasons of testing, in moments when the other person could hurt you, but chooses not to. A woman who knows how to set the boundaries of trust understands her own worth. She sees that trust is not a right, it is a privilege, and only those who demonstrate care and consistency should be allowed past the gates of her heart. But it's not just trust that holds power. So do words. Words have the power to create or destroy, to heal or wound, to open doors or slam them shut forever. A woman who understands the weight of her words knows that not every thought she has needs to be voiced. The world tells her to speak her truth, to say whatever comes to mind, but wisdom whispers something different. Silence at the right time is more powerful than 1,000 words, because some words once spoken can't be taken back. Some things once said can damage a relationship, tarnish a reputation, or even alter the course of a life. Not every thought deserves an audience. Not every truth needs a microphone. One of the greatest mistakes a woman can make is speaking from a place of emotion, anger, hurt, or even excitement. How many friendships have been lost because of words spoken in the heat of the moment? How many doors have closed because something that should have been kept private was made public? A woman who can control her tongue can shape her future. She doesn't speak just to fill the silence. She doesn't announce her plans to those who haven't earned her trust. She doesn't let her emotions lead her speech. Instead, she pauses, she reflects, and she chooses her words with care and purpose. There are things a woman should never say, not because they aren't true, but because they simply don't serve her. Speaking poorly of herself, that only reinforces lies. The world tries to plant in her mind if she constantly says she's not enough, not strong, not beautiful, not worthy. Those words will take root, and before long they will grow into her reality. She should also be careful when speaking about others. Gossip may feel harmless in the moment, but it always leaves a residue. Words spoken in judgment often say more about the speaker than the subject. A wise woman doesn't waste her voice on meaningless chatter. Her words carry value and she knows it. And then there are secrets a woman must learn, which parts none of her story are meant to be shared and which are meant to be held close. Some victories must be celebrated in silence. Some battles are best fought behind closed doors. Some wounds must be healed away from the noise of public opinion. Because when she speaks too much, she arms people with tools they may one day use against her. When she reveals too much, she invites interference, judgment, and doubt. But when she guards her words, she guards her peace. There is power in silence. There is dignity in restraint. A woman who has learned to master her speech walks with mystery and grace. Her presence is commanding not because of how loud she is, but because of how deliberate she is. The world listens more closely to those who speak less but with purpose. But what does silence really look like in today's loud world? Is it truly a strength or just a shield? We uncovered the quiet, power, kind of guarding our words. Now we step into a deeper strength, the kind that doesn't shout, doesn't explain, and doesn't need to be seen to be unshakable. A wise woman doesn't speak just to be heard. When she speaks with purpose, with intention, with clarity, and with the awareness that her words are not just noise, they are a reflection of her strength. But what often goes unseen is the strength she shows in her silence. Silence is so often misunderstood. See it as surrender as weakness, as if a woman who chooses not to argue, who walks away without explaining herself, is somehow powerless. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Silence, when chosen with wisdom, becomes one of the greatest powers a woman can possess in a world that demands immediate reactions, constant opinions, and unfiltered emotions. A woman who can hold her tongue, still her heart, and walk away from the noise. She is the rarest kind of strong. That restraint is not submission. It is discipline. It is confidence. It is wisdom, dressed in calm. A woman who has mastered the art of silence cannot be pulled in every direction. She doesn't pour her energy into fruitless debates. She doesn't the need to respond to every accusation or prove her worth to those who have already chosen not to see it. Because she knows this truth. Silence, when used wisely, is more powerful than 1,000 words. There are moments in life where silence is not just appropriate. It is divine when someone lashes out in anger. Silence keeps the fire from spreading when others whisper rumors. Silence refuses to validate them. When provoked, silence strips the enemy of the satisfaction they were hoping to stir. And a woman who understands this, she doesn't plead for understanding. From people who don't want to understand, she doesn't try to explain herself to those who have already made up their minds. She doesn't waste time battling opinions that were never rooted in truth to begin with. She chooses when to speak and when to let silence speak for her. But silence does more than protect. It preserves a woman who does not reveal everything she knows. Everything she feels or everything she plans holds a power many don't understand. She maintains control over her life because the world has a way of twisting words. The more you speak, the more you give others something to distort. When she keeps more to herself, she gives less. Away less for others to misinterpret, less for others to manipulate. She owes no one an explanation for her every decision, her every struggle, her every success. Some things grow best in private, in the quiet soil of her heart, far away from outside interference. And the noise of opinion there is power too. In the silence of observation, a woman who listens more than she speaks often sees what others miss. She picks up on the subtleties, the pause before a lie, the mismatched words and actions, the empty promises and half-hearted commitments, while others rush to react. She watches, she waits, and she moves with deliberate intent, because silence gives her room to process not impulsively but wisely while the world scrambles in chaos. She moves with clarity. Most importantly, silence brings peace. A woman who isn't constantly defending herself, explaining herself, or chasing validation. She finds stillness. She isn't exhausted by endless drama or buried in the weight of unnecessary conversations. Her energy is reserved for what truly matters. Her growth, her calling, her joy. The strongest women, they're not the ones who speak the loudest. They're the ones who have mastered the quiet confidence of knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Because her peace, her plans, and even her pain were never meant for public display. And in a world constantly demanding openness, constantly urging her to bear all and seek applause, wisdom teaches her what to protect. Preservation is not deceit, it's discernment. It's the act of safeguarding what's sacred. Because not everyone will value what she reveals. Not everyone will honor what she shares. And so a woman who preserves herself does not hide from life. She simply understands that not everyone is worthy of access. Her peace is one of her greatest treasures, and there will always be people, conversations, and distractions that try to chip away at it. The more she exposes herself to drama, conflict, and negativity, the more of her power she gives away. But a woman who values preservation knows better. She doesn't accept every invitation to argue. She doesn't respond to every insult. She doesn't step into every battle. She protects her peace like a fortress because she worked too hard to build it, and protecting that peace. It means knowing when to walk away, when to stay silent, and when to step out of places or relationships that no longer serve her. Her plans too require quiet. A woman who announces every move before it's made risks, interference risks, envy risks, opposition, because the world is full of people who smile in your face but secretly hope you never succeed. And dreams, those sacred dreams, are delicate. They can be trampled by doubt, by criticism, and by sabotage if revealed too soon. So how does a woman carry her vision forward without exposing it too early? How does she guard her dreams from the hands that would try to destroy them? We spoke about the criticism, wisdom of guarding your peace and keeping your plans protected until they're ready to stand on their own. Now we arrive at the heart of it all. Why a woman's quiet strength may be her most powerful weapon. A woman of wisdom doesn't need to prove herself through speeches or declarations. She moves in silence, and her life speaks louder than any words could. She knows that not every smiling face is sincere, and not every well-wisher genuinely hopes to see her rise. That's why she keeps her plans private, nurtured in secret, strengthened in silence, until they are mature enough to endure whatever storms the world may bring. This is how she remains in control of her destiny. And then there is her pain, a deeply personal, sacred thread woven into her journey. Society often encourages women to be open, to tell all, to bleed publicly in the name of being real. But wisdom says otherwise. Not every wound needs a witness. Some scars are meant to be tended in the quiet, without judgment, without pity, without the intrusion of voices who don't understand the weight they carry. Because when a woman constantly shares her deepest struggles with those who do not truly care, she risks more than vulnerability. She risks weaponization. What comforts her today may be used against her tomorrow. Someone may sympathize now, but judge her later. True strength is not found in how loudly she weeps or how publicly she shares. It is found in her discernment, in knowing when to let someone in and when to let God be her only confidant. Some battles are designed to be fought in solitude with quiet resilience, unwavering faith, and the deep confidence that healing doesn't need an audience. You see, the art of preservation is not selfish. It is sacred. It is wisdom. It is the daily act of choosing to protect what is precious from what is careless. A woman who understands this walks differently. She carries herself with grace, rooted in strength, anchored in self-respect. She does not give away what is meant to be kept. She does not waste her breath, her time, or her heart on things or people that do not build her, and because of that, becomes unshakable, unstoppable. She is not easily swayed by opinions or pressures. She does not crumble under the weight of misunderstanding. She stands tall because she knows exactly what is hers to protect. Her power doesn't lie solely in what she expresses, but in what she chooses to withhold. And in a world obsessed with exposure, where every thought is shared and every detail is displayed, her ability to live in mystery is what sets her apart. She knows that the most sacred things in her life, her heart, her dreams, her struggles are not meant for the careless hands of the world. They are treasures. And treasures are always guarded, never tossed around for public consumption. Because not every listener has good intentions. Not every ear that hears will protect what's heard. Not every heart she trusts will keep its promises. That's why she has learned the art of discretion, and in doing so she gained something. Priceless control. Control over her emotions. Control over her future. Control over her peace. She understands that silence can often speak louder than a shout, that trust must be earned, not assumed, and that strength isn't always loud. In fact, the strongest women are often the ones who speak the least and observe the most. A woman who walks in this understanding doesn't live for approval. She doesn't need everyone to understand her, and she's not afraid of being misunderstood, because she walks in quiet confidence, knowing her peace is too precious to be disturbed, her dreams too sacred to be exposed, and her wounds too deep to be handled by careless hands. She is not weak because she chooses silence. She is wise. She is not cold for guarding her heart. She is strong. So to every woman listening today, protect your peace, guard your dreams, hold your heart close. Speak only when it is wise to do so, but never forget, sometimes silence is the loudest and most powerful statement you can make. Walk in wisdom, live with dignity, and always remember this: the most powerful parts of you are the ones the world may never fully see. And if ever she feels the weight of the world pressing in, she remembers he was never meant to be everything. For everyone, her worth isn't found in how many people understand her. It's found in how faithfully she understands herself. She doesn't need to shout to be powerful. She doesn't need to reveal everything to be real. What makes her rare is that she knows what to carry and what to release. She walks through life with quiet assurance, like a well-rooted tree that bends with the wind but never breaks her. Roots go deep, not in people's opinions, but in purpose, in peace, in presence, and even in moments when she feels unseen or misunderstood. She does not unravel because she knows this truth. Her value is not diminished by silence. Her beauty is not dulled by privacy, and her strength is not weakened by what remains hidden. She is a woman becoming not for the world's applause, but for something far more eternal. So keep becoming, keep protecting, keep growing quietly. Because some of the most extraordinary transformations happen far beneath the surface, where only God can see.